What if you got the chance to learn about investing from Warren Buffett before you even turned 30? For one Harvard grad, that wasn't a what if, it was her life. This is the story of Tracy Britt Cool, the woman Warren Buffett trusted with billions, and how she used his masterclass to build her own empire. She didn't just get a front row seat. Buffett threw her into the fire with his toughest assignments, and she proved she could handle the heat. But the most interesting part of her story isn't just what she learned from the Oracle of Omaha, but why she decided to walk away, to write her own playbook. Long before she was navigating boardrooms, Tracy Britt Cool was learning business fundamentals in the fields of Manhattan, Kansas. Growing up on her family's farm, she was surrounded by the ultimate lesson in long-term thinking. You can't rush a harvest. You have to understand cycles, respect the seasons, and put in the work today for a reward that's months away. This was her first unspoken masterclass in patience, a principle that would define her entire career. And she wasn't just watching from the sidelines. By the age of 10, she was already an entrepreneur, running her own produce stand. While other kids were on summer vacation, she was getting a real-world MBA in supply and demand, customer service, and the simple magic of selling a good product for a fair price. It gave her a gut-level understanding of business that you just can't get from a textbook. She understood the grit behind the numbers on a spreadsheet. This foundation of hard work and horse sense propelled her to Harvard University. But even surrounded by some of the brightest minds in the world, she wasn't interested in just theory. She wanted to build something real, and that drive would soon lead her straight to the most famous investor in history. At Harvard, Tracy's ambition really started to shine. She wasn't just there to attend class, she was a builder. As an undergrad, she co-founded a group called Smart Woman Securities. The mission was simple but powerful: teach women about finance and investing, and break down the walls to a world that often felt closed off. This wasn't just a club. It showed she wasn't only driven to learn, but to empower others with that knowledge, a true sign of leadership. In fact, her undergraduate peers even voted her most likely to become a billionaire. The moment that changed everything came during a student trip to Omaha, Nebraska, where the group landed a meeting with the city's most famous resident, Warren Buffett. For most, this would have been an intimidating photo op. For Tracy, it was a job interview. After the meeting, she did something most people only think about. She wrote Warren Buffett a letter. It wasn't just a thank you note. She told him she wanted to work for him. She said she'd start anywhere, work for a day, a week, a month, and would do anything. That simple, direct, and gutsy move cut through the noise. Buffett was impressed. After she graduated from Harvard Business School in 2009, he hired her as his financial assistant. She was just 24 years old and had officially entered the inner circle of Berkshire Hathaway. Walking into Berkshire Hathaway wasn't your typical corporate gig. Tracy Britt Cool quickly became one of Warren Buffett's most trusted deputies, earning a nickname that said it all: the Fireman. Whenever one of Berkshire's dozens of companies was in trouble, whether it was Benjamin Moore Paints or the Oriental Trading Company, Buffett sent Tracy in to put out the fire. As he later put it, "Anything I've assigned her, she's done a first-class job on." This was her real-world MBA, a trial by fire unlike any other. She wasn't just analyzing spreadsheets from an office in Omaha, she was on the ground, diagnosing complex problems, working with management teams, and making incredibly tough decisions. This is where she truly absorbed the core of the Buffett philosophy, not as ideas in a book, but as practical tools. She learned to see the world through a long-term lens. In a culture obsessed with quarterly earnings, Buffett taught her to think in decades. The goal was never a quick profit, it was building lasting, sustainable value. She also became a true operator, understanding that real value comes from improving how a business actually runs, by investing in its people and strengthening its core. And above all, she saw that the most important currency in business is trust. Buffett's model was built on being a good partner, on buying family-owned businesses and honoring their legacy. It was about relationships, not just transactions. She wasn't just learning how to invest, she was learning how to build. And soon, she'd get her biggest test yet. In 2014, Warren Buffett handed Tracy her biggest fire yet. He named her CEO of Pampered Chef. At the time, the direct sales kitchenware company was a struggling Berkshire subsidiary that had been shrinking for over a decade. Sales were falling and the rise of e-commerce posed a serious threat. For many, this would have looked like a no-win situation. For Tracy, it was the perfect chance to prove she'd mastered the playbook. She immediately put her question marking on fireman skills to work. Her strategy wasn't about a radical overnight fix, it was a patient, methodical rebuild focusing on the fundamentals, the people and the product. She knew that real growth had to come from revitalizing the company's huge network of independent consultants and refreshing the brand for a modern audience. Her most critical move was leading a huge digital transformation. She took the company's online presence from a small fraction of the business and aggressively expanded it, giving the sales force new digital tools to thrive in the 21st century. The results were incredible. Under her leadership, the decade-long decline was reversed, and the company saw significant growth in both sales and earnings. Even the company's founder, Doris Christopher, praised her as a, quote, thoughtful and decisive leader who successfully transformed the business. The Pampered Chef turnaround was more than just a business success story. It proved that Tracy's unique blend of Buffett's long-term philosophy and her own hands-on operational grit was a winning combination. She had shown she could not only put out fires, but rebuild the entire house, stronger than it was before. After a decade at Berkshire Hathaway, after serving as a CEO, chairing 4 subsidiaries, and serving on the board of H.J. Heinz, Tracy Britt Cool made a move that shocked almost everyone. In 2019, she announced she was leaving. Why would anyone walk away from one of the best jobs in the world? The answer was simple. She was ready to build something for herself. She wanted to take the Berkshire model and apply it to a corner of the market her mentor couldn't. As she put it, she wanted to acquire and build great businesses that were, quote, too small for Berkshire. In 2020, she co-founded Kanbrick, a long-term investment partnership with Brian Humphrey, her former CFO at Pampered Chef. The name itself is a nod to her roots and her philosophy. Can for her home state of Kansas, and Brick for the idea that great businesses are built patiently, one brick at a time. Kanbrick isn't just another private equity firm. In fact, in an annual letter, the co-founders bluntly stated, "We believe the world doesn't need another private equity firm." Their model is a direct challenge to the short-term, high-debt playbook that dominates so much of finance. Kanbrick is designed to be a permanent home for family and founder-owned businesses, with a holding period that lasts decades, not just a few years. Tracy's mission is clear. In her words, businesses can't be built in spreadsheets and PowerPoints. We create value through building enduring companies instead of financial wizardry and loads of debt. She's not just buying companies, she's partnering with them. The firm has since raised $220 million to hunt for these hidden gems, and has already invested in companies like 31 Gifts and JM Test Systems. She's not building a Berkshire 2.0, she's building something new, applying timeless principles to a new generation of businesses. Tracy Britt Cool's journey is a masterclass for anyone in business. First, it shows the massive competitive advantage of patience. In a world that rewards speed, her story proves that thinking in years and decades, not days and weeks, is what creates real, lasting value. Second, it shows the power of being a hybrid, an investor who is also a true operator. She knows that value isn't created in financial models, but in the hard work of improving a business from the inside out. Her success comes from her willingness to roll up her sleeves and build, not just buy. And finally, her story is about having the courage to forge your own path. After learning from the best, she had the confidence to take those lessons and write her own rules, creating a firm that reflects her unique vision. She's carrying the torch of the Buffett legacy forward, but she's using it to light a path that's all her own. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think is the most powerful lesson from Tracy Britt Cool's career? Is it her hands-on approach, her long-term patience, or her courage to strike out on her own? Let me know in the comments below.